All right, so today we're going to be talking about quadratic key features. So the first thing we're going to talk about is x-intercepts. For an x-intercept, or actually, let's talk about the quadratic function. So we have the quadratic function right here, this gray U shape right here. We see it? This is what we're paying attention to. Now, let's go back to x-intercepts. X-intercepts are going to be on the x line, left and right. So for this example right here, we have one at 1, 0, and -3, 0. 1, 0, and -3, 0. Now, when it comes to the word solution, remember, solution means the same exact thing. So we can literally just copy these points, and that's our answers right there, solutions. Now, when we're talking about roots, same thing. It means x-intercept. When we talk about zeros, same thing. It means x-intercept. Now, when we talk about ground, same thing. It means x-intercept. All of these mean x-intercept. Every single word means x-intercept. Now, oh, I didn't put y-intercept on there. When we talk about y-intercept, we are talking about the y-axis. The y-axis. We touch the y-axis at -3. So you'd have the point 0, -3. 0, -3. Okay. Now, let's talk about the axis of symmetry. When we talk about the axis symmetry, remember, axis, x equals a number. Our axis symmetry is a line that cuts our graph in half at the vertex. At my vertex, and we touch -1. -1 right here. So x equals -1. My vertex is -1, -4. -1, -4. So the x value for this point, -1. Right here, my y value, -4. Right here, it's a little bit difficult to do maximum because this graph doesn't have a maximum. Okay, so maximum is going to be your highest point right there. Okay, and minimum is going to be your lowest point. And right here, our graph has a minimum at -4. -4. And we can grab that number from our vertex as well. So whatever your vertex for the y value is, that's your minimum. And remember, equivalent means same. Same. Or equal and Desmos. So when you see the word equivalent, we go to Desmos. We're making a picture or making sure it matches. So let's check out my first example. The graph of the quadratic function is shown on the grid. Which function is best represented by this graph? So I have a graph right here and I have equations. I need to match them. There's no important word here. It's just like you see this question and you know what to do. So you have equations here. I have a graph. I want to look at this graph first and I want to say, okay, what are my important points? So right here I have -2, 0. Right here I have 4, 0. Right here I have 0, -8. And then my vertex, which is a super important one, right here, 1, -9. So when I go to Desmos, I'm going to check every single one of these points. Okay, I need to be touching those points. If I'm not, then we're on a bad track. Okay, so there's two ways you can do this. You can put these points in Desmos or put them in a table and kind of like look at them, or we can just graph them. F x equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. Now, when I look at this, I'm going to look at these points. So -2, -2. This is good. My next one, 4, 0, 4, 0. That's good. 0, -8, 0, -8. That's good. 1, -9. That's good. So A passed my test for all 4 points. Check, 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 check. So A is probably my answer, but let's go and look at B so we understand what I'm talking about. So you have f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. Now, if I look at this, this has -4, 0, and I'm looking at -2, 0. So I already know that this one does not pass my test because it doesn't touch the same points. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully. So A would be our answer. Okay, so let's move on. So next question says, the graph of a quadratic function k is shown on the grid. Which statements are best supported by the graph of k? So here we have 4 statements. I have to figure out which one of them is true. So I need to look at each one separately. So let's look at the first one. The axis of symmetry is y equals 1. I know that when I see axis symmetry, it should be x equals number. So right here, it has y equals number, which means it's false. That means any answer with the 1 in it has to go. So F cannot be it. And J cannot be it. So now I'm between G and H. Now I'm a good 50-50 chance. So now let's look at the other one. The coordinates of the y-intercept are 0, -1. I have y-intercept here and 0, -1. So let's look. My y-axis is touching -1. That's good. And I know I write an x or y-intercept as 0, y. So 0, -1. This matches right here. This is good. So anything with B in it or 2 in it is good. Good. Now I need to check the next one. If you look at the answers, you see that 3 is the same in both. So I want to find the difference. The difference is the 4th one. So let me just go to the 4th one and check it. The graph has a minimum value at -2. If I know my minimum value is the lowest part of my graph, that is at -2. So the 4th one is correct. If I'm looking between G and H, I need the 2nd one and the 4th one to be good. That means G is missing this one, which is bad. So G cannot be my answer. That means it has to be H. So when you do these questions, make sure you're really paying attention to what you can eliminate. That'll help you a lot. Hope you have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know. Goodbye.